Hey, good morning, everyone. Nick Reagan here from our First Alert desk for our 5-on-5 Plus local news and headlines, our top headlines right here from our newsroom. We're going to start this morning with a fire in Colleton County. You can see the remnants there. Fire officials in Colleton County, they're investigating what they're calling a suspicious fire. All of this happening on Sunday. Now, these are images the fire department took for us. This is in Catholic Hill in Colleton County. Officials say the person was driving by this fire when they alerted firefighters. When fire teams arrived, they found the mobile home 30% involved, meaning it was a big fire from the get-go. Now, they were able to get it under control, but it was difficult for them to get into the structure to search for anybody who may be in there. They say that it had a, quote, heavy fire load. Now, no one was home and there were no injuries, but again, fire officials say that this is a suspicious fire that they are investigating. Also in Colleton County on Sunday, the sheriff's office is investigating after two teens were shot in a drive-by shooting Sunday morning. Several rounds penetrated into a mobile home on Able Street. These are images from that scene. Both victims were inside the home at the time and were shot in the leg. Now, they were taken to the hospital and their injuries are considered to be non-life-threatening. The sheriff's office also notes that there was a shooting just across the street back in October that killed a man. So they are investigating this incident. Well, let's take a look outside now. You can see the bridges there. A bit chilly this morning, and it's going to be even chillier tonight. Let's check in with our First Alert weather team.
And good Wednesday morning to you. I'm meteorologist Joey Silva. Chilly out the door this morning. Make sure you have the coats ready to go. May want to warm up the cars for a few minutes. Temperatures climbing slowly today despite sunny skies. Only low 40s at lunchtime and mid 40s by the time the kids get out of school this afternoon. Then we drop down quickly. So by 6 o'clock, headed back towards the 30s. That puts us on pace for the 20s for most of you inland tomorrow morning. So it will be a cold and frosty start on our Thursday, but warmer in the afternoon at 60. Then we're at 63 on Friday. Next cold front comes through Friday. Small chance of a shower behind that. A cold weekend on the way. Highs in the mid 40s with a morning low on Sunday morning, the coldest at 21 degrees.
All right, thanks, Joey. Well, you can see there that map right now showing above normal temperatures for the 6 to 10 day outlook. All right, well, let's head to Mount Pleasant now, where police, they are searching for a man wanted and accused of robbery and kidnapping at a motel. This Maximilian Kraus is one of two charged in connection to an incident at the Red Roof Inn. Police say the victim was planning to meet someone from a dating app. Kraus and Lauren Ellis allegedly tied up the victim using her credit cards and then left her in the hotel room by herself. Police say Kraus may or may not be armed with a handgun that was used in the robbery. If you see Kraus or have any information, you are asked to call police, and they do say not to approach him if you see him out on the streets. In Orangeburg, the county coroner's office confirmed that the remains found in Holly Hill on January 4th are those of 49-year-old Melissa Aguilar, who was last seen by her family back in mid-August. This is a story that we have been following for several weeks now. The confirmation has further opened a rift between the sheriff's office and the victim's family, who filed an official complaint against the office over the weekend for a lack of communication. The family says the coroner ID'd the remains earlier, but the sheriff was not informed. Now, this comes after the family visited the site where the remains were found and collected by the coroner's office and found a jawbone that had not yet been collected from that site. Well, in Columbia, convicted killer Alec Murdaugh was back in the courtroom yesterday ahead of a hearing over evidence to determine if he will be granted a new murder trial. Former Chief Justice Jean Toll made the decision to limit who Murdaugh's attorneys can call to testify. They wanted to call State Prosecutor Creighton Waters and Judge Clifton Newman to the stand, but Toll stated this case is focused on the Colleton County Clerk of Court Becky Hill and the jurors, and not the prosecution or the judge in the case. Now, Hill is accused of jury tampering in Murdoch's double murder trial, and they're attempting to use that to get Murdoch a new trial for those double murders. Well, the South Carolina House of Representatives is considering a significant change in its rules that some lawmakers warn will silence the chamber's most conservative voices. But supporters say it's meant to ensure the legislation that could impact millions of South Carolinians is properly evaluated before it's enacted. Right now, the House is unable to filibuster, so lawmakers file hundreds of amendments instead to delay a bill, a tactic Democrats used during the abortion debate last year. But this proposed change would prevent them from filing all of those amendments simply to delay a bill. Also in Columbia, a Cannabis Unite rally is set to take place at the State House today with Senator Dion Tedder as the featured speaker. Earlier this month, we told you about a bill that Tedder introduced that would no longer allow the smell of marijuana to be used as probable cause in a police search. South Carolina Cannabis Coalition is holding the rally from 10 to 2 in an effort to bring awareness to cannabis benefits and cannabis policies. The coalition also plans to stress that the Palmetto State is just one of 10 states that have yet to decriminalize marijuana for medical purposes. All right, and before we go, we've got one last thing for you. South Carolina's Secretary of Transportation, Christy A. Hall, she has announced that she will be retiring after 30 years or nearly 30 years of service in the state. She's been, for the last 10 years, the Secretary of Transportation. She was appointed there by former Governor Nikki Haley. We wish her a very happy retirement. Well, that's all we have here for 5 on 5 Plus. I've been Nick Reagan, and this has been 5 on 5 Plus. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you tomorrow.